Hi guys, it's Wendy here from Wendy Wise Beauty. Thanks for stopping by. Today it is a Lattafa video. I have not done a Lattafa video in quite some time, but this is a video of some, what you could call classic fragrances. These are some older fragrances. Some of them I have heard a lot about them in social media, and others I just picked up based on the notes. So I will just be chatting with you guys about these fragrances today because I found a few good ones. The first one I would like to start with, it is this one. It is called Ser Al Malika. However, this one is a little bit confusing with the note situation. There are two fragrances. There is Ser Al Malik, which is unisex, and there is Ser Al Malika, which is formulated for women. When I tried this fragrance and I looked at the notes on the perfumery website where I bought it, it did not seem to fit the fragrance because I was getting some fruity notes and some floral notes, and I looked at the Lattafa website and the notes also did not really make sense, and I think they have Ser Al Malika, but it is the notes for Ser Al Malik. So I did some digging around and I think I was able to find the correct notes for you guys, but I will just be telling you what I can smell in this fragrance. This is the way it is packaged. It's actually quite a nice bottle. This is the way it looks. The bottle for Ser Al Malik, which is, like I said, unisex, and based on the notes, it looks like it is leaning way more masculine. And Ser Al Malika, actually the bottle is the same, so it is quite easy to make a mistake when ordering this fragrance. From what I could see, Ser Al Malik, this came out in 2022, and I do think this one, it is in the same time period, and these are more on the, I would say, lower end price range of Lattafa. It is between 16 to 20 euros, actually 22 euros. By the way, the top here is black and it says Lattafa. For a fragrance in this price range, I find that the packaging is quite nice, and this is metal. Guys, this was a really good find. I just ordered this because it looked like it would be a nice fragrance for fall. And I like to go through the websites, the Lattafa collection, to find fragrances which are not hyped and some of the older fragrances. So this is why I am calling this more of a Lattafa classic video. This is actually a light, I would say, ambery fragrance, and sometimes it does smell a bit like camera, but it is more ambery and it does have some fruity accords. It is not a gourmand scent, it is more ambery, but I do every now and then get a bit of camera in this fragrance. There is oud, but it is more of a light crispy oud. It is not a very animalic oud. And in terms of region, it is right in the middle of what you would say is Western and what is Oriental. With Oriental, I do not mean this type of fragrance, but Middle Eastern fragrances. The opening, it is a bit spicy, fruity. There are fruit accords, and also there is a very discernible note of cinnamon. It is not too spicy, it is not too fruity. It is a very nice melange. When I smelled the opening of this fragrance, I was thinking of a chai tea, almost like a very fruity Indian tea with spices and some fruit. You know, sometimes you can get a bit of orange peel or lime peel in these Indian teas, and this is what the opening smells like with the cinnamon. It is not a very complex fragrance. The dry down, it is pretty woody, ambery with some musk accords. Throughout the life of this fragrance, there are some musk accords, some fruity accords, and some sweet woody accords. When this fragrance settles, it is a bit woody with a nice dose of patchouli and some musk accords going through. I did pick this up by looking at the notes. It looked like it would be a really nice fragrance for fall, and I thought for the price point you can't go wrong, and it is exactly as I thought it would be. Easy to wear, not too serious, more an everyday type of scent, and something that you could easily wear in the office or on the weekend. So I am very happy with this one. I got this a while back. I think it has macerated, and some of these older fragrances are the ones which are not hyped. They do sit in the inventory for a little bit longer, so when you get them, they are normally ready to go, or they do not need such a long maceration period. This one, the longevity is good. It does not project a lot. It is normal sillage, and I get about 6 to 7 hours from this fragrance, and for the price point of less than 20 euros, I am very happy with this one. By the way, the notes that I think are the correct notes for Ser Al Malika, in the top there is neroli, mandarin, orange, and vermouth. And the heart, it is rose, saffron, oud, and sandalwood. And the base, it is vanilla, amber, oud, sandalwood, musk, and patchouli. It is an amber oriental fragrance, but this is quite light. When I looked at the actual note breakdown, it looks like it could be a very heavy fragrance, but it is actually not. The next classic that I have, guys, this is Nasheet. This one I got about 9 months ago, and I think this fragrance, it is still in high demand. By looking at the internet, it looks like this one, it is also quite old. However, when I received this fragrance, oh my God, I wanted to get rid of it right away, because actually I was thinking the fragrance was spoiled. The top note, it looked like there was no top note, no heart note, nothing. It was just woody, 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 and nothing else. I had seen some reviews of this fragrance, and everyone said it was a direct inspiration of Nishane Ani, and I could not get this in this fragrance. It was just wood. So I did leave this in my cabinet, not really to macerate, okay? But I had no hopes for this fragrance, and I tried this, you can say, on and off during this about 9-month period, and this fragrance, it really changed. Now this is really resembling Nishane Ani. It is quite close. Nasheet, I think it is Nishane Ani. It just has a bit more woody notes. The dry down of this fragrance, it is a bit more woody, and this one, I must say, it is leaning a bit more masculine, and it is not as creamy. You know, the blend, the formulation, it is not as creamy as Nishane Ani when you spray it, but in terms of the sillage it gives, and after the fragrance settles, this one, it is quite close to Nishane Ani. I do have Nishane Ani behind me, and when I started this video, I sprayed both fragrances on a swab, yeah, and I don't know if you can see this, I wrote down the names so I know which is which, because in the dry down phase, these two fragrances, they are quite close. The opening, it is a little bit different because Nasheet in the opening, it only lists Gaiac wood. However, there has to be lemon in this fragrance because when it opens, it is very fresh. They do list the heart note simply as nutmeg, but there's definitely ginger and also a bit of cardamom. I don't know why the fragrance breakdown, the note listing from Lattafa is so lean. However, from simply smelling the bottle, yeah, you can tell that there is a lot more. And the base, it's frankincense, cashmeran, and sandalwood. Yeah, the base of this fragrance, it makes sense, but the heart and the opening of the fragrance, the notes are really I don't think they listed all the notes. Yeah, this is a beautiful inspiration clone of Nishane Ani, but I must say it is the original. I did sample again Nishane Ani X, and the X version, it is a lot more citrus, a bit easier, not so woody. So this one, it is definitely Nishane Ani, the original. By the way, this fragrance, it was gone from the Lattafa website for quite a long time, and I have just noticed here in Germany that it is back in the assortment. I did get this from another oriental handler, and the reason why when I got it and it did not behave the way I thought it was, I just thought it was a fragrance that was not stored properly, and I was prepared to wait until this is again available at Lattafa. I know there are a lot of people who are wanting to pick up this fragrance and it's been gone for a while. Well, at least here in Europe it is back. This is a very good one. I almost forgot to say, this is a lot stronger than Nishane Ani. It projects, it is, you can say, besmirched, and this lasts. Yeah, you will be smelling this the next day. If you like Nishane Ani or it is a fragrance you wanted to try, you can't go wrong with this one. By the way, I also found another inspiration of Nishane Ani, but now that I have smelt again Nishane Ani X, I think this one, it's a beautiful inspiration. It is Satwa by Ad Al Safaran, and I think this one, it is a bit closer to the X version. The next classic that I have, if you can call it that, it is Ana Abiyedh, and the one I have, it says I am white on here on the packaging. I hope that this is the original fragrance because there were so many of them, and this fragrance was and is still so hyped. I wanted to try it. This is what it looks like from the packaging. It is a pretty standard bottle. Actually, it looks like one of the older Caliph bottles. They are always changing their bottles, but once upon a time they did have bottles with a top like this. This one, it is supposed to be inspired by Ziajov Erba Pura. I have tried Erba Pura a long time ago. I remember liking this fragrance, but I never picked it up. So everyone says this is a very good inspiration, hoping that I did pick up the correct version of the fragrance. I mean, I do like this fragrance. It is nothing which is super complex or a fragrance where there is a very long progression. It is just an easygoing fragrance, nice for everyday wear. There are no jagged notes, nothing that bothers me with this fragrance. When I got this, it was, you can say, ready to wear. I did not have to macerate this. I just thought that this would probably be better for cooler weather, so I did not wear this a lot in the summer. What I love about this fragrance, forget that it is an inspiration or a dupe, is that the pear note, it is very pronounced. I can smell it, and it is a very nice soft fragrant pear note. It is actually very beautiful. The amber note, it is not too much. It does not overpower the pear, this fruity accord. And the dry down of this fragrance on my skin, it is pretty much a nice musk laced with a bit of amber and some fruity notes. This is a pretty fragrance for weekend, for the office, for just about anywhere. Hoping I got the correct version or flanker, which is the inspiration or clone of Erba Pura. I might end up influencing myself the other way, because I do love this very much, and Ziyajov fragrances tend to be very complex, so I can imagine it is probably a bit of a different, more complex fragrance. Actually, I was very surprised with this one. I was expecting something a bit more oriental with a little bit maybe of oud, which is not in the notes, but I am happy with this one. It is, I can say, worth the hype. I see this everywhere and I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about, and now I know. It is a pretty fragrance. The next one that I have, guys, it is this one. I think the packaging of this fragrance, it is quite beautiful. Some people might think it is gaudy, but I like it. This one, it is called Maahir. And I believe this is inspired by another fragrance. I have a little book here where I am writing, you know, the fragrances and what the inspirations are, because or you forget. Let me see what this is inspired by. It is a fragrance that I had not tried. It was said that it was inspired by Kilian's Dark Lord. When I smelled this fragrance, I really could not really place it. But this is the packaging of the fragrance. Just try to get this out of here. This is another bottle, yeah, that you either hate it or you love it. I think it looks nice in my collection. This is very heavy. There are quite a few flankers to this fragrance. There is a black one, there's a silver one. This is the gold version. I do have a bit of, you can say, love-hate relationship with this fragrance. I don't know what it is. Sometimes this fragrance, it does not have a strong leather note on my skin, and at other times the leather note, it is a bit, you can say, a bit smoky, a bit too much. I don't know why this happens, but when my chemistry on a certain day agrees with this fragrance, I absolutely love it. It is only the dry down sometimes that I do have a bit of issues with. Also, the notes to this fragrance, Maahir Gold, on Fragrantica, it is completely wrong. When you look at the notes on Fragrantica, you would think that it is a fruity floral fragrance. I think the accords are correct, but the notes are totally incorrect. I did also see this for French Avenue. Which one? Sweet Paradise. The accords were correct, but the actual fragrance notes were not correct. And it is the same for this fragrance. I absolutely love the opening of this fragrance, so I am spraying a lot of it. Sometimes I am so sad that the leather note in this fragrance bothers me. By the way, this one, it is more of a fall, cold fall day, and definitely a perfect fragrance for winter. This one has a bit of a spicy opening. It is not cloying, it is fresh. It is rose and saffron. It is absolutely beautiful and perfect for a fragrance that you would want to wear in cold weather. It is very warm and very inviting, but it would be necessary to be able to tolerate spice and definitely leather and a bit of oud to like this fragrance. It is not one for the faint-hearted. The heart of the fragrance, it is really a fresh oud, but also there is saffron and rose. This rose saffron note, it remains throughout the life of the fragrance. It is more pronounced in the opening, but it does linger. The finish of this fragrance, it is pretty much a melange of notes. Oud, leather, and some woody notes. Sometimes on my skin, the dry down, it is oud and there is saffron and some rose, and I absolutely love it. There is sometimes a light hint of leather picking through, but at other times I get this leathery, strong leathery dry down, and with the saffron it is a bit too much for me because I can do leather, but not a leathery oud dry down. I do sometimes get a bit of a headache, and this fragrance, it's so beautiful. If this did not happen, this would be one of my top Lattafa fragrances on days that it behaves itself. I absolutely love this fragrance and I will keep playing with it. I have had this since I would say early summer, so I don't think it is a maceration problem, and there is leather listed in this fragrance. It is just that it is for me my perfect fragrance when the leather note does not show itself. I will put on this beautiful cap because this is part of the show, just to give you the full note breakdown. The top note, it is saffron and rose. The middle, it is akigala wood, it is leda and dry amber. I think dry amber is German. Let me see how you say dry amber in English. Okay, in the translation dictionary, it does say Trockene Bernstein is dry amber. It's a note I don't see very often, so I thought I was translating wrong. And there is oud mood accord, vanilla and musk in the base. Oh, it's also the first time I have come across oud mood accord. Okay. This is from the Lattafa website. I do know they have a fragrance called Oud Mood. I have given you in the description, you know, in the review, what I get from this fragrance. And it is also strange that the notes are also wrong on the Lattafa website. Maybe they don't want us to know what the actual notes are. You know, it's like Serge Lutens, the niche perfumer. Oh my god, this man has such amazing fragrances, but he never listed the notes to his fragrances because he wanted people to wear his fragrances, and based on the way the fragrances reacts on your chemistry and what you smell on the fragrances, these are the notes in the fragrances. He never listed his notes, and this was really awesome. This was the appeal also of Serge Lutens. By the way, I need to order another bottle of Bois de Musc. Sorry, I have digressed. But anyway, guys, this is a beautiful fragrance. I like this fragrance when it behaves, and when it doesn't, I have a bit of problem, so I have to put it away. But this would be fabulous for fall, for winter, and yeah, those two seasons. I cannot see this fragrance in very hot weather because it is a bit strong. This lasts forever. I mean, when I spray this in the morning, about 3 sprays, maximum 4, I am good to go for the rest of the day. By the way, this one came out in 2020. and it is not at all expensive. This bottle, this is so pretty. I love touching this. Anyway guys, thanks for listening. Hope to see you again soon on my channel. Take care. Bye bye.